welcome to another episode of Super Wives and Sheroes TV. We're here with the phenomenal Kristin Michelle Young. I keep messing it up. We got so many Kristins and Kirstins, and then I'm messing up her double last name. It's like my last name, Evans Carter.
Well, no, Michelle is my middle name. I just use, because Kristin Young is such a common name, I just use my middle name. So.
Oh, okay. See, my last name is actually Evans Carter. It's one last name together.
Right.
That's a whole nother story, though. What we're here to talk about is pretty much Kristin and this program and how amazing she is and the whole experience, right? So, first of all, how are you doing today, Kristin?
I am fantastic. Happy Saturday. Yes.
Awesome. Early in the morning, early risers. This is what we do.
Yes.
So, Kristin, tell us a little bit about your experience with this 28-day program.
Oh, my experience. It was definitely a different level of accountability. I know one of the things that you and I spoke about before, my biggest challenge was just having to do this solo. I've become very dependent on other people. And that's just a whole separate revelation that I learned over those 28 days, at least the first 28 days. But in general, I loved it was different. It was different from programs that I've done before. But the 28 days challenge was definitely a push for growth. It's definitely, I can definitely see how the shift is different and the focus is different from just another fitness and meal plan program.
Awesome.
Come on now, wake up.
I kind of been up since like 3.
No excuses.
And then I said, I'm going to get some more sleep, and I ain't get back up till 5. So, right. Where were you before the 28-day challenge? Like, what kind of things were you doing? What was your mindset? What was your lifestyle? Your environment, those kind of things.
Well, 2 years ago, I started a fitness program. I was in a place where I was making a transition in my business, in my career, my home life. And I just felt like now is my opportunity to make a change. I was struggling with post-baby weight for years, and I just didn't want to struggle with that anymore. So I made a decision 2 years ago to start a fitness program, which worked well for me. It was a group fitness program. I showed up. I was never an early riser, but I was working out 5 a.m., 5 days a week in these group fitness programs, and they challenged me to lose a bunch of weight, and I did. I was, over the course of 13 weeks, I lost 43 pounds, and I was elated, and I said, yes, this is the new me. I'm never going back. And from that, I wanted to keep going. Even though I left that particular program, I wanted to keep the regimen going. So I continued working out. And because I was sharing my journey, a lot of people started asking questions about what I was doing, wanting support as well. So I started my own fitness program for wives. Part of what my full-time business is my organization, Living the Vows. And I work with coaching wives through marriage and life challenges. So I added on the fitness component for wives because there's so many other wives and mothers who are in my same position, struggling with the baby weight, trying to figure out how do I take care of me? How do I drop the weight? How do I feel sexy? And, enjoy my husband and all those things. So I added that component. The challenge that I was facing was the meal plan portion and maintaining the eating habits. And what I started to notice very quickly, even though I was still going hard, working out 5 days a week for at least 45 minutes, I was running 2 days a week on top of my fitness. I was still starting to see the weight come back. And then that became discouraging for me because I was in a place, I'm like, okay, I'm working out. I could definitely make some adjustments with my meal plans, with my eating habits, but I wasn't like eating out every day or, eating junk all day every day. But that weight was coming back, which was causing a level of depression for me. So I was still pushing and encouraging these other ladies, but not seeing the results I wanted to see for me, and therefore not seeing the results I wanted to see with them. So when I found this program, I was just in a place, I said, I have to do something different. I have to find my next level. I said, I'm doing great with working out and encouraging these ladies and keeping myself going, but working out is just not enough. And that's the message that a lot of people miss, because so many people say, oh, I'll just go hard in the gym, or I'll just work out, do my 30-minute walk every day. That's not going to get it. Working out alone is not enough. And that's one of the things I had to learn the hard way, because I enjoyed working out. I've always been into sports and physical, fitness and that kind of thing. So that was not the issue for me. It was the eating habits. And that's what drew me to find something else and find that next level with the 28-day challenge.
Yep. And as far as like eating habits, sometimes with the eating habit, it just really falls down to like knowing, how to eat in order to continue to get results for the rest of your life. And it's also a mindset thing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And something else that you said that stood out to me just now is like when you're working with other people and you're leading them, right? And you're not getting the results that you want for yourself, and it kind of feeds off into them not getting the results that you want them to get, or you feeling that way, right? And you've been in this program with me when I'm 100% open about the things that I'm pursuing, that I'm trying to achieve, and when I have my struggles, it's the same thing. If I feel like I'm not getting to where I need to be, I feel like I can't lead people to where they need to go, right? As a leader, there's no such thing as, there's no fraud leaders. There's a lot of fraud leaders, but those people that are leading people that aren't achieving their own goals are frauds. And they will only lead people but so far. Even if they help people lose a lot of weight, even if they actually help people change their lifestyles and their mindsets, the way that they're teaching them how to do it is their own experiences. So the only thing that they'll do is be able to get them to a certain point, and then that person, they can't lead them anymore.
Right.
So here what we do is we help people grow to a level that you will be able to continue to grow for the rest of your life. Everybody has to do that. You do it. All of the other women do it. I'm doing it, right?
Right.
So anybody that comes behind you, they have that example, and if they continue to follow you, they're going to continue to grow, because you're going to continue to grow, right?
Absolutely.
No ceilings over here, Kristin.
That's right.
Awesome. So, like, tell me about a little bit about some of those other things that you've tried, like those challenges and nutrition and programs and stuff like that.
I mean, I've tried. Isn't that what you're supposed to do? You're just supposed to try a little bit of this, try a little bit of that, complain about it not working, and move on to the next, right?
Yep.
I mean, because the bottom line is pretty much every program has some level of success. Somebody's going to find success in it. The bottom line is you have to stick with it. You have to push through. But I've tried everything. I've tried fasting, like straight liquid fast for over a month. I've tried intermittent fasting, where I was only eating dinner, and I did that for a few months. I recently started looking into keto right before I found this program. Mm-hmm. What else have I done? I've had multiple gym memberships where I just told myself, it's January, it's time, I'm going to do it. So I get that gym membership, and I started working out, and I was just always looking for, not so much looking for that magic pill, but looking for quick results on my own. And I think that was the biggest challenge. I was always thinking, oh, well, if I just read this over real quick and I'll figure it out on my own, or if I just show up for this class, I'm good. But it's there's so many more levels to that, and I know that was part of my challenge. Just staying committed to something long term, because you're not even if you can. For example, for the program that I was in a couple of years ago, I got quick results, which was a major booster for me, but there was no follow up to that. So, which is very discouraging to make that kind of shift and then see those results quickly go away almost as fast as you came. It's a little depressing. But yeah, so I think the biggest thing is all the different meal plans and substitute programs, shakes, and all that kind of stuff. It's a couple of different, programs that I found. They said, oh, well, just you don't have to worry about working out. Just change your meal plan and your eating habits. So all those different things. It's just a matter of sticking with it and having that accountability and the education and the leadership to go along with that to keep you going.
So what do you think? What do you think made this program different? Like, how is this any different than anything else that you tried before?
I think the biggest difference for this 28-day challenge is the focus on mindset. Because yes, the fitness program is there. Yes, the nutrition is there, but the education is different. The education on how to manage yourself is different. And just the fact that the focus is the mindset shift. That's very clear from the very beginning. It's about the mindset. And we hear that a lot in our careers and in school and different things that we do in life. But a lot of times we want to only apply it when it's convenient and not recognizing the power of the mind and how it really is the starting point for anything that we do in life. So that is one of the things that I really loved about the way you set up your program. It's about that mindset and how it's ongoing throughout the day. So even though, sometimes I get I'm like, another ding, another message pop up, comment and all this stuff, but it gets overwhelming. But it's one of those things that's really necessary because you're keeping people motivated throughout the day. You're keeping people constantly in that mindset of how can I make a shift? How can I do this on my own? How can I push myself? Even though you have that community aspect, it's about how can I push myself to go harder and to do better and to make choices, as opposed to here's your fitness plan, here's your meal plan, we'll work out for 45 minutes and I'll see you tomorrow.
Yep. And what's crazy that you said that, right? Look, your group that came through was completely amazing, almost. I was super excited. I'm like, yeah, all of them going in, all of them doing the work. It was an amazing experience, right?
Awesome.
And what really allowed me to open me up to take it to the next level, I'm like, okay, when they're at this level, when they're following, the mindset change, the identity change, they're doing all of the work, like, how could I add more value to it? So, like, pretty much because of this last group right here, your group, I'm changing a lot of things up. Like, as far as improving things, like, I believe we need a lot more education on specifically what y'all doing to understand more. I felt like as a coach, I'm leading y'all toward the right directions. Instead of, having y'all focus on, like learning this and learn that. You can Google and YouTube all of these things all day. What I needed to focus on was actually y'all implementing and taking the action, right? So where I've grown through this experience at the same time, I'm starting to educate y'all too. Like, I've added some new things on the website. Y'all won't be able to see it yet till probably maybe Monday or something like that. But actually understanding what phases y'all are going through, so that when you're in a specific phase, I see certain people get to a certain point and they're like, okay, it's not what they expected because they haven't really been educated enough to understand that stabilization is the first phase. Stabilization endurance, right? Then you have strength endurance. Then you have hypertrophy. Then you have maximum strength. And then you have power. Like, understanding the different phases of that. Each one has their cardio portion of it. You have your strength training portion of it. You have your speed, agility, and quickness portion. You have your reactive portion. So what I started doing is going in and started creating those so I can educate y'all there, as well as nutrition, to understand in different phases you're gonna do this. You're gonna focus on, your weight loss here, and your calories and your macros need to be here. And when you're in this strength training phase, you're not gonna be worried about getting this kind of scale result. You're gonna be focusing on this kind of result, and your nutrition is gonna change here. Like, all of those things are gonna be key elements to making this program flawless, because like what you said, everything else is there for you. Like, even you already know what you're doing every day. You even know what your rest days are, right? That's going to be the master plan, Kristin. So, Kristin, tell me, right? how does this program, how does this challenge make you feel? Like, how does it make you feel on the inside? How did you really feel about it? Like,
man, okay, so that was kind of a journey. That was a journey for me, because when I first looked at it, it was cool, but like I said, I kept getting hung up on, I gotta go to this gym by myself, and I was still working with the other ladies in my group.
mm-hmm.
You told me not to work out with them. I'm like, so now I gotta fit in this. I was, so that was a slight adjustment that I needed to figure out quickly, because that meant still trying to work in a workout, and I'd much rather do it in the morning than evening.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to figure out a schedule where I could keep them where they were, but also work in my schedule. And because I had to actually go to the gym, it was just an adjustment. So I'm just like, okay, Kristin, sign up for this. Let's go. Let's do this. So it was working through my own mindset of, I'm doing this by myself. And then when I saw how repetitious the workouts were, it's like, okay, because I'm used to changing up every day. Something different every day, even though, it may be the same focus, legs, arms, what have you. But I'm like, this is really the same workout. Like, and I said, okay, but I do enjoy the battle ropes. But getting on a stepper for 10 minutes, I'm just like, am I really just stepping for 10 minutes?
Yeah.
So what you can see already, these are some of the mindset things that I had to work through, because I'm just like, this is not what I want to do. I needed to see this before I said yes. So those are just some of my own personal challenges that I worked through. But going through the program, I definitely loved your energy, and just the conversations, and the way you were very are very attentive, and just constantly checking in and making everybody feel like, even though we know there's a group, we see how many people are in the group, but you still make the time to check in with people individually and make people feel like, I see you, I'm watching you. I'm making sure that you were checking in on the videos, so I didn't feel like, I'm just posting this video, nobody's watching. No, you were right there, getting on me in the videos, and
ding, ding, ding.
So, even though I was working out solo, I was still hearing you, whether you commented not or not. I was still able to hear you, and it was cool. It was definitely a push, because again, in my mindset, I'm like, okay, well, I'm used to working out anyway. This shouldn't be an issue, but it was definitely a bigger mindset shift that I needed to make than anything.
And like, I'm glad that you said that too, because that digs deep into why I said what I just said too. Like, educating y'all, understanding why you're doing what you're doing is like a key importance too, because you have to do the same things over and over, because your body has to go through the general adaptation syndrome. When you change it up too much and you're trying to get a specific result, your body doesn't adapt to it to actually grow or to get stronger, to become faster. And you become faster, right?
Oh yeah.
You become stronger.
Absolutely.
By repeating. And then when if you do a bunch of different things all the time, those things aren't going to work for other people or anybody in general. So that's why the education piece is very, very important. And it took y'all to actually, y'all to come through, kill it like y'all did, and express certain things to me, for me to realize this. So, like, that's why I say I always love the honest, great feedback. Awesome. So, I was going to ask you, how do you feel about the coaching, Kristin? How did you feel about the coaching?
Well, like I said, I think that was a big, that was honestly the thing that really stands out about how you run this program. It's it's necessary. It's necessary, even when it's honestly just like kind of building any other relationship, especially when you're dealing with almost like a parent-child relationship, when you know what's good for the child and the child doesn't really understand, and you got to push through anyway. And bottom line, I know this is good for you, so I need you to do that, and I don't want to hear the excuses. So that's kind of how I felt initially with the coaching program. because sometimes, you know, I found myself certain things, I'm just like, oh, I'm good there. And because I do have a mental health background, I'm just like, oh yeah, I get that. I don't need to pay attention, or not so much not pay attention, but I'm good there.
I know that already. I know that already.
No, you know, I'm like, oh, that's cool for the rest of them. He's got to do that for the rest of them, but I don't necessarily need that part. But just watching some of the comments and some of the videos that the other ladies posted, and just paying attention to the impact that this community and the coaching was having for them, that's when I had to go back and I said, okay, wait a minute, let me look at, I mean, because somebody, like, I'm a big Tony Robbins fan already, so I'm like, some of these videos I've seen them already. Watch it again. And you know, I found myself in that place with watch it again, and really allowing, encouraging myself to make that shift and get out of that, I don't want to say know-it-all mentality, but done that before mentality. So not so much that it wasn't effective, not so much that it wasn't necessary, but I was in this mindset that I've done that already, I'm looking for the next. Yep. But sometimes we miss the fact that we, you know, and honestly, I do know it's a pride issue at times, but recognizing the power in repetition and the power and the true value in going back to read that book that you read before, or to study that, you know, sometimes you do need to retake a class, or sometimes you do need to redo things, and that's okay. So that once I started to make that shift, and I just realized, and just hearing some of the ways that you are encouraging us, and just watching how you continue to show up, that was a great impact, and it was a great reminder for me of the power of repetition. I think that's the biggest takeaway.
It's consumption, implementation, and reflection, and repetition, right? Because we consume things all the time.
Oh yeah.
All the time. Consume, and we don't grow with consumption. I didn't grow for years because I consume. I read all of these different things, everything else, but it wasn't until I started implementing that I really understood. But then I was implementing, and I wasn't even reflecting on the things that I was implementing, and was wondering why I wasn't growing. So when I started reflecting on those things as well, I was like, okay, this is why. But I also got to the point where I felt like, yeah, I know that already. I know that already. I did that. Yeah, I know that. No, I had to repeat the same processes over and over again in order to make it a habit and a ritual. We talk about habits and rituals. I could go deep. You already know about this great stuff. So like, we create the habits, we create the rituals of consumption, consuming the information, the knowledge, you know, implementing the information, the knowledge, reflecting on the information and knowledge, and then actually repeating it over and over again until it becomes a habit, right?
That's it.
Awesome. So, what have you learned? Now, when I say what have you learned about yourself? What have you learned about your environment? What have you learned about, anything? What have you learned on this journey, period?
I mean, well, I think I shared some of that already.
Yep.
One of the things I was reminded of was how much I need to get out of my own way, and just like I was sharing just now with the coaching, just allowing myself to go through the process. So often I'm in the space where it's human nature. I want to get to the results part. I want to get to the meat. You know, and sometimes I look at things and I'm just like, well, I don't necessarily understand why I'm doing this. And if, you know, I'm the kind of person, if you don't break it down and make it clear on why I need to do this, if I don't see the relevance in it right away, I can skip over that part. Let me move on to the next. I don't need that right now. So one of the things that I was reminded of was just to trust the process, and just know that you're in your position for a reason, and I'm in my position for a reason. You know, there's a reason why I came to you for additional knowledge, and knowing that the initial reason I came was for next level information, I can't assume that you're not going to give it to me, or that what you're giving me is stuff that I already knew, because there was still something there that already said he's on another level. So I had to trust that process. What else did I learn? I guess another reminder for me was the fact that if you want to do it, you're going to do it. If you want to do it, I mean, so often we allow ourselves to get caught up in excuses. We allow ourselves to slack in areas when it's beneficial. But being able to finding a way to make it happen, and we have to take on that mentality, regardless of, just because you paid into a program or whatever the reason is. You got to stick to that whatever it is that you want for yourself. And the bottom line is, you have to want it for yourself. And we hear it often, but we still are often, I know I'm still often dependent on other people, and I allow myself to slack when I feel like other people are slacking, or when I feel like the environment has changed, or what have you. But the bottom line is, if I have not achieved the results that I need, and if I haven't reached the goal that I wanted to reach, I have to keep pushing, and I have to keep finding a way. Which also goes back to just the repetition. Sometimes the biggest impact we have is just doing those little things every day, and mastering the small things, mastering, getting up at 4 a.m. every single day. That's something that I've mastered. But, just finding those little things, going to the gym for those 30 minutes every day, and making it happen no matter what.
Yeah, awesome. So what kind of result did you have on this on this program? Physically, mentally, emotionally, with your lifestyle strategy? Like, what kind of results have you?
You need some water?
I'm always congested, and I guess whenever the weather starts changing again, it gets real bad, and it's always just nasal drip.
Yeah.
So yeah, what kind of results all around the board have you achieved during this program? Because I don't even know.
You don't know? Okay. I thought you were. Okay. All right. So, what kind of results did I achieve? Well, again, I mean, we've been talking about the mindset piece, and that has been the biggest driver, or the biggest aha for me. So, as far as the specific results, just for me, honestly, the biggest result was just more awareness, because it's only been the first 28 days, and granted, there's a lot that you can accomplish in 28 days. But as I've mentioned, I was kind of holding myself back for the first 12. So honestly, I was semi standing in my own way at the beginning of the process, and even down to the meal plan, because I still wanted to. I still struggle with depriving myself of certain foods, and going through. I am an emotional eater, so that still played into life experiences and what have you. So I was a little slow with getting on board with properly managing the macros and managing the meal, the nutrition portion, the way you broke it down. So just making that awareness shift, and making that that personal shift with how I approach how I eat. That was a big thing, because a lot of times, like you said, we hear just cut out the carbs, or just eat more fruits and vegetables, or just protein and vegetables, and you're good. And you have a totally different practice and a different science to that. So that was probably the biggest takeaway for me. And even when you said you were starting out with the lesser calories now, and then increase your calories later, that again is something that was definitely new information and vital information for me, and just definitely still learning how to manage that nutrition portion. But that was probably one of the greatest results and greatest takeaways for me. So I did drop 6 pounds on the program. Yes, and I know in hindsight I definitely could have done more had I allowed myself.
The thing is this, right? Everybody's only supposed to lose about 2 to 3 pounds a week. That's the way it's designed. So 8 pounds is exactly what you're supposed to do. You got 6. You were behind a week. That's perfect.
Which is honestly, and that's about right. Because that first week I was just like, wait, what am I doing here? What did I just do?
Yeah.
So, and honestly, and even with that, I can definitely say the preparation piece, even though when I signed up for the program, it was about a week before the program started. But I did not give myself the proper preparation time to read through everything and, again, meal planning and grocery shopping, all that kind of stuff, because I kind of done my grocery shopping already. So, like, I'm gonna do work with what I have. So just honestly, just the proper preparation for what I needed to do, that was missing. But yeah, either way, I was still able to accomplish 6 pounds, and they have not come back. So I'm excited about that. And but definitely, I think the meal plan, the nutrition portion, I keep saying meal plan, the nutrition portion and how to manage nutrition has been probably the major shift that I need and still need. I'm definitely looking for more education around that.
Gotcha. Awesome, awesome. Would you recommend this to any other wives?
Would I recommend it? Would I recommend? I mean, honestly,
outside of your own wives that you coaching. I mean, I ain't trying to.
listen. I might just be sending them your way. Because the bottom line is you have to understand that there's some things that you just cannot. It's just not in your lane. And for me, I've been great with being able to motivate and work out with some other ladies, but in order to get them to their next level, sometimes you do need to, pass them on to somebody else or bring somebody else in. So, so that you might see some of them in your group. But definitely, I would encourage other wives to do this, because it's not just it's something about that community and being able to see other women, other wives, other mothers who are in that same space that are saying, I'm working on this, and just to see some of the results, and know that the before and after pictures that you're showing are not just people from years past, or not just, these are people who are right here in the group right now, and just watching, being able to have that support. But honestly, again, the education and the mindset and your approach to how you work through the fitness and the weight challenges or what have you, it's completely different. So I think there's a different level of understanding mindset and how people work, how women work, how we operate, that is beneficial to getting results in this program.
Awesome. Kristin, last but not least, Kristin, you have been amazing, phenomenal, and I'm looking forward to being a part of your life for a very, very long time. We're gonna figure it out, right?
Absolutely.
So, what is something that you want to say to the other wives that's going to be watching this right now, and they're going to be looking at you, they're going to be motivated and inspired by you? What is something that you want to tell them to get them started and to kickstart getting them started and staying consistent on their journey, to inspire them?
Get naked. That's what I want to tell them.
Awesome.
The reason I say that is because that's one, especially if you are in a space where you are, if weight is a challenge for you, it definitely affects so many parts of your life. And one of the things that I've noticed is how much the way you see yourself plays into how you show up in life. So I say get naked because one of our biggest obstacles is being able to face our truth and being able to love ourselves in our truth, in spite of whatever you don't like or want to change or what have you. The bottom line is you are where you are, and there's still something to love about you in this moment, regardless of how nasty your attitude may be, regardless of whether you just got fired from the job, regardless of the challenges you're going through in your marriage or what have you. The bottom line is there's still something absolutely lovable about you, and you have to see that. You have to own your truth. So I encourage any woman to honestly just get naked in the mirror, look at yourself, find something that you love, even if it's just your eyes, whatever it is, find something that you love about yourself, and be able to stand naked in your truth and say, this is where I am, this is not where I'm going to be in 6 months, this is not where I'm going to be in 28 days, and allow yourself to release your inhibitions and truly just follow the process. And I know I said that earlier, but truly just be able to trust the process and know that if you're going to sign up for a program, you there's something about that program that inspired you, that drew you in. So allow yourself to get everything that you can from that program, and from this 28-day challenge, and allow yourself to be in it, to be all in. Allow yourself to let go of your excuses, let go of your past results or non-results or whatever the issues are. Focus on where you are right now and find something every day that you love about you, and find something new every single day that you have accomplished. Whether it is just, I was able to, eat a nutritious meal 3 times today, or, I was able to spend quality time with my kids. Whatever it is, find something new that you love and something new that you've accomplished.